Thank you for tuning in to podcast number 47 of Sports Talk with JWock. I am your host, JWock, and today I'm going to be giving my breakdown for March Madness and basically what teams to watch out for and just the excitement of March and how exciting it is as a basketball community to be able to watch March Madness. So if you want to hear more about this, make sure to stay tuned. Once again, thank you for tuning into podcast number 47 of Sports Talk with JWock. I am your host, JWock, and if you guys don't know, it's March, and it's March Madness time. I'm so excited to be able to watch that and just be able to sit around and watch so many different college basketball teams fight it out to be able to become the national champion. And it's just so fun to be able to watch all these teams have such a drive to be able to try to win that national championship, and they really do play it really is just single elimination. If you lose, you're out. So that's what makes it so fun to be able to watch March Madness. But anyways, I first want to talk about four teams that I think are the teams to look out for in March. Obviously, I'm recording this on Friday, March 14th. So we still don't know the bracket style yet. And we also don't know which teams will be in the tournament yet. So some of these teams may not even be in the tournament. I would probably bet these four teams will be in the tournament. But yeah, look out for these teams, I think, and I'll name some maybe some notable players on the team to look out for when you're watching these teams, if you decide to watch the teams, obviously. First up, I have Auburn. This team's definitely probably going to make it. They're ranked third nationally. They're first in the SEC, which is debatably, and a lot of people would argue that conference is the best conference in basketball. They have an overall record of 27-4, and they are 15-3 in the conference. And their notable player that I wanted to name is Johnny Broome. And right now, if I pull up his stats, he's averaging 18.6 points per game with 3.3 assists. He's shooting 50.6% from the field. He's not shooting the three ball the best at 29.7%, but he has been shooting, or he's just been balling out lately. I mean, his last game against Alabama, he put up 34 points. I mean, he did have a couple tough games against Texas A&M and Kentucky, putting up only 8 and 9 in those games. But then the games before that with Mississippi and Georgia, he put up 24 and 31. So this kid is just a flat-out scorer all around. Excellent player. Definitely a player to look out for. I believe he's their guard, just to make sure. Yeah. No. He is their forward. I apologize. They do have a really good guard. I don't remember his name right now, which I apologize for that. But yeah, look out for Johnny Broome. Definitely an excellent player for Auburn, and I'm excited to see what he can do in this tournament. Next up, I have Duke, which I was making these notes before Cooper Flagg got injured. So I have no idea how long Cooper Flagg's going to be out for. So if he's out, this team is definitely not going to be as good. They're still a good team, though, regardless. And I think they're definitely a team that could get hot in March if Cooper Flagg plays. I just wanted to clarify that. But they're ranked first nationally. They're first in the ACC. Their overall record is 28-8. They are 19-1. They have a 19-1 conference record. And their notable players are Cooper Flagg, if healthy, obviously, Con Knipple, and Kaman Maluach, which all three of those players are definitely players to watch out for potential lottery picks, which I actually did a video, I think 2 episodes ago, about a early mock draft, and all three of those players were in my mock draft for potential lottery picks. So that's going to be something to look out for as well. That's going to be a fun team to watch, especially if you're an NBA fan, to be able to see some early prospects like Con Knipple, Cooper Flagg, and Kaman Maluach. So definitely look out for Duke. They are hungry. They also have really good depth players. I really like this team's structure overall. And yeah, this is going to be a tough team if healthy. Like I said, if Cooper Flagg's not healthy, this team is going to be struggling a little bit. But if he is healthy, look out for them because they definitely could make it at least to the Elite Eight. Next up, I have Alabama. They're ranked third nationally. They're third in the SEC. They have an overall record of 24-7, 13-5 in the conference. And then some notable players they have are Mark Sears and Grant Nelson. I'm going to pull up Mark Sears' numbers because he has been really, really good this season. He also had a really good run last year for Alabama in March, so definitely look out for Alabama. They're going to be hungry. He's averaging 19.2 points per game. He has 5 assists. He's shooting 41% from the field, 35.2% from the three, sorry. He's been balling as of late. He's been putting up 20-plus points every single game almost as of late, except against Auburn. He only put up 9 points, so he definitely struggled that game, but Auburn is a really good team. Anyways, like Alabama, I remember watching them last year in March, and even like Grant Nelson, he got hot at the right time, and this team, I don't remember if they made the Final Four or if it was the Elite Eight or something like that, but they made it decently far into the tournament, and they were very impressive to watch. And I remember just watching Mark Sears and going, this kid cannot miss, like, he cannot miss. Like, he is scoring everything, and he has been unbelievable. And in March, it all comes down to who gets hot at the right time, and I think Alabama could be one of those teams to look out for. And then finally, this one's a little bit of a reach, but there's one player that I really like on this team that I think kind of reminds me of NC State last year when they made the Final Four. They made that secret run. Their big men were just dominating. I apologize for the light back there. It is still flashing. That is fixed, and I almost just broke my whole setup. Anyways, I have Maryland. I think Maryland is a team to watch out for. They're 11th. They're ranked 11th nationally. They're second in the Big Ten. They're tied with Michigan, I believe, for second right now. Their overall record is 24-7. They're 14-6 in the conference, which the Big Ten has also been a surprisingly really good conference right now for college basketball. They've recently underperformed in March, so we'll see if their conference can maybe play better this year, and I think they probably will. But yeah, Maryland 14-6 in the conference, and the notable player that I really like on the team is Derek Queen. He is definitely a player to look out for a potential lottery pick. Let me just look up his stats right now. He is a freshman. He's 6'10", 246. Excellent player. Definitely does not shoot the three ball. He rarely takes 3-point attempts. I don't even know if he's never taking 3-point attempts, hardly ever. But right now his season stats are 15.7 points per game. He's got 2 assists. I believe that's 9 rebounds a game. And then he's shooting 52.6% from the field, which is very efficient. His 3-point percentage is 8.3%. So yeah, he's definitely not taking many threes, but he has a 75.8% free throw percentage. So he's been doing really solid, getting to the line, scoring his free throws, and also just dominating down low. He's an excellent pick and roll player. He's a big dominant presence down low. And I think a lot of college teams might struggle with that. Maryland also has some other guys that are just very, good, like guards, especially, that can help score the basketball and kind of help take some of that weight off of Derek Queen. And I think, I'm serious, watch out for Maryland. This could be a really tough team going into March. I think they can make a dominant run. And I apologize if I don't have crazy amounts of research on this right now. I haven't had much time. I had to take an exam this week for school, so this was definitely harder. And this is definitely going to be a quicker video because I just don't have that much to talk about. But I just wanted to mention March because it's really fun to be able to talk about March Madness. And then I did say I was going to mention a team for honorable mention, or maybe I didn't. I don't remember. Anyways, an honorable mention team that could definitely make the tournament and definitely look out for them if they make it is the Texas Longhorns. This team, I'm serious. Let me pull up his stats because there's a certain player on Texas, I'm telling you, he is a top 3 projected. He could almost be a top 3 pick in this draft. He's a freshman. He's 6'6", 190 pounds. His name is Trey Johnson. Look out for this kid. This kid is a bucket getter. He's averaging 20.1 points per game, 2.8 assists, 42%. He's shooting 42.7% from the field and 39.3% from the three. That is very good stats for a player that's taking a ton of shots a game. He's been balling out as of late. They just actually beat Texas A&M in the tournament, and he had 20 points that game with 3 steals and a block. So he's making not just an impact offensively, but also defensively. So watch out for Texas. I really like Trey Johnson. That's going to be a team I'm really going to look out for. They actually play Tennessee later today, which will be an exciting game, if you guys don't know, I am a Tennessee fan, so a Tennessee and Michigan fan, so my teams probably won't make it super far, but hopefully Trey Johnson doesn't go as crazy against Tennessee today. But anyways, those are just like 5 teams that I'd say look out for. Definitely watch those players. There's a lot of teams that'll have lottery projected picks going into this tournament, so definitely look out for that as well. But I just wanted to kind of give you a quick rundown of why I love March Madness personally. I personally love March Madness because I feel like all the players just have a sense of drive that you just don't see in the NBA. And I don't know if that makes sense or not. But to some of you that watch the tournament, I hope you guys can kind of relate to what I'm saying. It just feels like the atmosphere is so much different in March and for the college basketball tournament compared to the NBA, at least right now. Because it's still the regular season in the NBA. In the playoffs, it's an electric atmosphere for the NBA. Don't get me wrong. But March is just different. It's you win, you move on. If you lose, you're out. So there's so much more at stake. It's like a game 7 every single game for college basketball. And that just makes it really fun for me to watch. And you see upsets all the time. It's almost impossible to get a perfect bracket, which I think there literally has never been one perfect bracket. Which, by the way, you guys, once March Madness comes around, send me your guys' brackets and who you think will win, because I'm interested to see your guys' opinion, because there could be so many different outcomes that it's just so fun to be able to see so many people's different opinions on March. And that is personally why I love March Madness. It's also just basketball, and I love basketball, so that's why I love March Madness. But anyways, that's going to be the end of this episode. I apologize if it was a little bit shorter and a little bit more of a boring video of just me talking about March and basketball in general, but this is a very exciting time for at least me as a fan. I really love watching March Madness. I know me and my dad and probably my other siblings are definitely going to be sitting down watching a lot of these games. I'm probably going to be watching most of them if I'm not working at those times. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in to podcast number 47 of Sports Talk with JWock. If you want to check me out on social media platforms, I'm still trying to figure out Facebook, so just kind of push that to a side right now. But check me out on Spotify if you just want to listen to the podcast at Sports Talk with JWock. Check me out on Instagram at sportstalkwith_JWock3. Check me out on TikTok at Sports Talk with JWock. And yeah, just kind of message me if you ever want to be a guest. I'm more than happy to be able to get you guys on this podcast. We're getting closer to podcast 50. I might have to change up a few things, but because I was kind of planning on having a bunch of guests. Right now, I haven't had many guests ask to come onto my podcast, so hopefully you guys continue to ask, but I would love to bring you guys onto the podcast, whether that's virtually or in person. Either way will work for me, and you don't even have to show your face. So if you want to be on the podcast, but you don't want to be visually seen on the podcast and you just want your voice to be heard, that's totally fine with me as well. And I don't even have to mention your name if you really don't want to. I could just say an anonymous person. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning into this podcast. I will see you all next week. Have an amazing week. God bless.